Now, while as poll season is around the corner in the US, in shocking case of racism and intolerance from Trump's America, a Sikh mayoral candidate in the United States was labeled a terrorist in slanderous flyers left on car windshields. The councilwoman faced hate rhetoric despite being a US citizen.
City of Hoboken is a very culturally diverse city. People from all walks of life come here to make a home, to start their business, and to make a living. With the recent attacks on Ravi Bhalla's campaign, he have raised a lot of questions of what is happening, and this has been the trend since the recent 2016 presidential elections. Indian community at large and Sikh community as well has seen a lot of hate crimes against them, a lot of physical and verbal abuses against them, and this just shows to what extent people will go, calling someone a terrorist, asking them to go back to their country where Ravi was born and raised in America. He's an American like everyone else and is part of the fabric that makes America. With the elections just 2 days away, this weighs heavily on his campaign to have comments like these posted around the city. But they're not giving up, and they're hoping that people will rise above to understand and see him for who he is and not just for these racial attacks that have been against him.
Meanwhile, your channel also spoke to Ravi Bhalla, who in fact said he is hopeful the upcoming election, despite the racist attack, that he maintained that Hoboken is a peaceful community and a few incidents like this won't shake its foundations.
Well, it's obviously very upsetting, more personally towards my family, my children. Being called derogatory terms is not what Hoboken is about. We're a very diverse community. We're a very welcoming city. So, whoever has done this, hopefully they'll be, prosecuted. But, I want to make clear that that's not what Hoboken is about. They've elected a Sikh councilman 2 times, might elect the first Sikh mayor, and it's a reflection of our commitment to inclusivity and diversity.
Okay, and also when we see attacks like this happen to somebody in the community, we also see recently from the administration, we've seen a trickle-down effect where loose terms are thrown out and then people take it upon them to act at a local level.
Right.
And it's affecting people in their daily lives.
Yes. I mean, unfortunately, after the 2016 presidential election, there were 787 documented incidents of hate in across America within the first 2 weeks after the election. So the impact upon not just the Sikh or Indian community, but even the Jewish community, the LGBTQ community, immigrants, there are many minorities that are under assault. So this does have a trickle-down effect. What happens in Washington affects people in Hoboken, as well as the state of New Jersey and the country. It's important for us to react to these types of incidents in a positive way, not to stoop to that level, but to make sure we educate people about who we are, that we're just as American as anyone else.
Okay. And what kind of a response have you been seeing from your supporters out here when they see posters like these?
I think there's been an overwhelming response of just outrage and, just really disgust over the nature of that flyer. It's important to get across that, the Sikh turban is not a symbol of terrorism. It's a symbol of justice, equality, love for humanity, and that's what the turban represents, not terrorism.